Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have this time with you and talk about things that are on the minds of women who are aging beautifully. Now, one of the classic things that we are challenged with as we get a little bit older are these things called senior moments. Like, where did I put my keys? What am I doing in this room? And, who am I? And we consider this as all part of aging, that and somehow our memory is just going to start degenerating because of age, but it's not true. And I want to talk to you today about some things you can do to change your lifestyle in about 4 different categories that can help you to not only remember and have a sharper focus, but to also regenerate those brain cells and continue to improve as you get older. So this article by Joy Stevenson-Laws, one of our bloggers, inspired me to talk about these changes because you're probably doing a lot of them already. You're doing things to obviously try to improve your memory, and maybe even subconsciously you don't realize those changes are making a difference. And there are 4 different ways you can look at this. There's daily exercises or activities. There's diet. There's kind of partnering in a couple of different ways, and also nutritional testing. Now, these are some things that you might want to consider if you feel that you're just not as sharp as you used to be, or you keep forgetting things that you should remember, or important things. Things that actually really are important to your safety and well-being. So the first thing, of course, is daily activities. Now, there's a number of things you can do that will help you to restore the synapses in your brain. One is meditation. Now, we've talked about this a lot. Meditation can have a really big impact on mental clarity, and the studies are there online for you to research. It's not just my observation. I've been meditating now for 45 some years, and not every single day and not every day for 10 minutes, but I do try to do it because I feel like it gives me a clarity, a discipline, and also just relaxation. And stress is a really, very significant cause of mental, challenges. So 12 minutes of meditation can give us that kind of improvement and that kind of subjective memory function. Challenge your brain. That's another thing you can do every single day. Now, I'm actually really pleased whenever we talk about this in our community, 60 and Me, people say, oh, I do puzzles or I do activities that, strengthen and my brain. And you're already doing things. I want to remind you, too, that 60 and Me has got a really wonderful games section on the homepage or our website. It's totally free to use. And there are just games for every possible personality, from word games to puzzles to strategy games, all free of charge to use. So just go up to our website, 60andme.com, and then just look at the top. There's a button that says games. So another thing you can do is to learn something new, learn a language. Why not learn a few words in a language? You don't have to learn the whole thing. There's a lot of free sites online that you can use to learn a new language. And that's one thing, or learn a musical instrument. And if you've got a piano or you've got a keyboard or something that's been sitting in the dust, just get it out. There's lots, again, of online programs that you can take to learn how to play a new instrument. And the reason I'm going to mention this one, take a little side tour here, is that we've been talking a lot lately on 60 and Me about women in their 60s, 70s, and older feeling irrelevant. Just don't feel like we matter, that people don't care about our experience or our wisdom. They just, we're just not important anymore. And one of the things that we've been discussing as a way of dealing with that and feeling relevant is to master something. If you master something, whether it's just cooking a great, meal, or whether it's learning an instrument or a language, if you master it, it doesn't matter whether anyone else thinks you're relevant. You know that you can do something really well, that you've practiced and you studied, and that activity is super good for your brain. That's a lifestyle change that really will help, your memory and your focus. And it's fun anyway. It's lots of fun. Anything that gets those neurons firing is super important. Now, there are some other lifestyle changes related to diet and habits. Of course, I don't need to remind you that smoking is not a good thing for your brain or your body in general. I know a lot of women smoke. It's obviously a choice. I know how hard it is to give up. So I'm not preaching. I'm just saying if you can give up, it's a really big help for mental strength. Another thing is to drink in moderation. We all know this is something that people keep telling us, and it's true. Nothing wrong with a glass of wine or a liqueur or whatever, but just moderation. That's the name of the game. And that does have an impact on your brain. Now, there's a lot of research been done in this area. You can check online, but just take my word for this. And Joy, by the way, Stevenson-Laws is actually in the medical profession. So she is talking about this with some experience and knowledge. So, sleep. Did you know that 40% of Americans get less sleep than is healthy? 40%. And we've talked about this before, how when you get older, your sleep gets broken sometimes. You wake up in the middle of the night. You can't go back to sleep. And I was challenged with this for quite a long time. It's got better now. And I think it's partly because I tend to meditate, do some knitting, listen to audiobooks. I just do things that put me in a sleepy mood. But used to wake up at 3 a.m, not be able to sleep, and then also get only 6 hours. This is something that's really, really important. So you need, and it's a myth in a way that as you get older, you don't need as much sleep. The facts are that between 7 and 8 hours of sleep is important for everybody at any age. So another thing to do with your diet is exercise, of course. I put that in the diet is sort of lifestyle activities, anything, walking, dancing, skipping, anything, just move. That's so, so important because your brain is just like your body. It needs blood. It needs blood flow. And that's where you get, your heart rate up and your blood, gushing through your body. That's what you need for a healthy brain. Another thing you could do is change your actual food diet. And if you could check out I can't remember Joy's name. See, I told you, it doesn't work all the time. Joy's name, Joy's article, you'll find that there's a lot of really specific food choices that you can make. And it's true. She says you are what you eat healthy. Fruits like avocado, blueberries are amazing apparently for the brain, along with nuts like walnuts. That's an easy one to remember because they look like little brains. Dark leafy vegetables. We've talked about broccoli, kale. What else? Oh, and beets. The red fruits like blueberries and beets, cranberries. All these are very good for you. And also fish. Salmon in particular. I fortunately love salmon. I don't eat meat, but I have a lot of salmon fish, which is great. And also things like dark chocolate. Yay. And other, sort of healthy foods like honeys and so on, those types of things. Those are good. Don't eat, if you can help it, saturated fats. Those ones that are, what do they call them? There's a word for them, trans fats, where you're frying fat. That's not so good for you, for your brain. Artificial sweeteners apparently are not so good as well. There's a whole list in the article. I suggest you take them out. Processed foods of any kind. And also, as a general rule, things that are white. Like, just white rice or white bread or white sugar, just tend not to be so good for your healthy brain. The third thing we talked about was partnering. And this is one that Joy mentions because she's in the medical profession and can talk about this intelligently. Talk to your doctor, partner with your medical profession about Alzheimer's and your fears perhaps of dementia, what's going on, your memory issues. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. Well, partly because they don't want to know, and that's natural. We don't think, oh, that was just forgetfulness, no problem. But if you're having a challenge and you're feeling concerned, partner with your medical profession and doctor, nurse, counselor, whoever, to just talk it through, get some tests. And that's the fourth thing, which is nutritional testing. Now, Joy talks about this quite a bit because it's very you forget to do it. I mean, it's something you don't always include in the conversation with the doctor. So vitamin D, vitamin B12 have been proven to be connected to healthy brain. Both have an influence on memory, so B12 and D. And I've searched around for B12, and it isn't always as easy to find, but you can find it in different formats, as a liquid, as a capsule. But B12 and D are good. Also, and because those are our bodies, by the way, as we get older, don't produce as much of those things. And those are definitely, according to the research, related to memory. By the way, none of this is medical advice, right? I'm just talking about what Joy wrote. She's a professional. I'm just repeating it and encouraging you to check it out yourself. Check out the research. Another thing is glucose levels decrease as we get older. And so you can get the doctor to check that. And the decline in glucose levels in brain health in many cases is a sign of the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia. So glucose levels are important too. But all kinds of nutritional testing, the doctor can do this for you. Like when you go in and have blood tests just as a part of a routine checkup, make sure you say, can you check my vitamin D? They don't always do that unless you ask. And you'll find, in fact, Joy mentions this, a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. And you don't even know it, mostly because our weather, we don't get a lot of sun in some parts of the world and for long periods of time in the winter months. So vitamin D is super important. So losing memory is not age related. That's the key message here. It's not age related at all. You can what's the hair doing? I can see it in the, it's actually related to your habits, to things you do. So what is your experience with memory loss? What are you doing to, to actually improve your memory, increase your focus, and fix your hair? Maybe that's related. Who knows? Well, look, have a really good day, everybody. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it's been enlightening and at least inspirational enough to check it out. Have a look at Joy's article and just take care of yourselves. These are tough times. We've got to stay healthy as we get older, and memory loss is not age related. We can do something about it. Okay, everybody, well, have a fabulous day. Take really good care of yourself, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.